To join News Prime with me, Samuel Kojo Brace. We're coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlimli in Accra. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Coming up, President John Dramani Mahama lashes out at the erstwhile MPP government over what he describes as reckless management and weak leadership, resulting in Ghana's current economic woes.
Years of financial mismanagement, irresponsible borrowing, reckless spending, and weak leadership that failed to address the underlying structural issues within our economy.
But opposition MPP fights back, accusing him of delivering pure propaganda in a State of the Nation address as they deliver what they call the true State of the Nation address.
Do propaganda, and we can assure you that this propaganda will come to hit and hurt him hard.
We have more from the MPP in Parliament who have been defending their party's economic record during the 8 years in office. We have all the angles covered for you. Also, communities along the Ankobra River face a freshwater crisis after illegal miners blocked the river, allowing seawater to take over what was once their main source of fresh water.
It tastes like salty because the sea have entered the Ankobra, so it's salty, you cannot drink.
And the crisis deepens for coastal communities in Ketu south of the Volta region as 172 people have been displaced and 32 houses washed away by the sea.
At the roadside, far away from the sea, but the erosion had gotten to us.
We're alive in the communities as families are racing against time, exhuming the remains of their loved ones as the sea encroaches upon their cemetery. President John Dramani Mahama continues his criticisms of erstwhile MPP government over what he describes as reckless management of the economy and weak leadership, resulting in Ghana's current economic woes. The president made the no-holds-barred criticism of the previous administration at the ongoing National Economic Dialogue meeting here in Accra, and is being held at the Accra International Conference Center. The two-day event has brought together key economic players to diagnose and prescribe some remedies as part of the government's effort to deal with Ghana's economic crisis. Listen to President John Dramani Mahama, who in his address took on the outgone government for taking the nation on what he describes as a reckless drive to economic crisis.
When I assumed office barely 2 months ago, I inherited an economy that was in a state of deep crisis, one that was weighted down by numerous challenges. The economy was reeling from unprecedented levels of debt, soaring inflation, high unemployment, declining levels of foreign direct investment, and low business confidence. The financial struggles that our nation is facing have not arisen overnight. They have been the result of several years of financial mismanagement, irresponsible borrowing, reckless spending, and weak leadership that failed to address the underlying structural issues within our economy. This pervasive mismanagement culminated in Ghana's defaults on its debt obligations. This marked a devastating milestone for our dear country, spawning a cascade of economic problems that have severely impacted our people. Huge fiscal deficits, excessive government expenditures, and overall financial imprudence have compromised our economic resilience. Credible rating agencies such as Moody's, Fitch, Standard & Poor's have all downgraded our international credit rating consecutively, leading to capital flight and a loss of investor confidence and trust.
He also criticized previous managers of the Bank of Ghana for contributing to the high rate of inflation.
The Bank of Ghana, instead of serving as an independent monetary authority, became a financing tool for government's excesses, fueling inflation and devaluing our currency. The cost of living has skyrocketed to unbearable levels, leaving families grappling with the inability to afford even the most basic necessities. At the same time, inflation erodes the value of wages and savings, pushing many into a cycle of poverty. Meanwhile, the ill-considered collapse of indigenous banks significantly reduced indigenous presence in Ghana's financial and banking space and led to massive job losses. For too long, Ghana has been plagued by short-term decision-making that prioritizes political expediency over long-term stability. We refuse to accept this as Ghana's reality. We reject the notion that economic hardship must be our norm. We refuse to surrender to the forces of stagnation and decline.
Well, President John Dramani Mahama has assured of his commitment to implementing the recommendations by the committee.
Here merely to recount our struggles, nor are we here to resign ourselves to economic stagnation. We are here to seek solutions, to adopt strategies that will put us on a sustainable path, growth trajectory, and to ensure that we build an economy that works for every Ghanaian. For me, this is not just another policy discussion. It is an urgent call to action. A crucial moment for us as stakeholders to unite with purpose and resolve the challenges that face us. We've gathered here to create a powerful platform where government officials, policymakers, business leaders, economists, industry experts, development partners, and other key figures come together to shape the future of our nation. The insights, diverse perspectives, and actionable recommendations that emerge from these discussions must transcend theoretical frameworks and drive real, impactful decisions that will guide our national economy forward.
We can now hear from the Finance Minister, Dr. Kesiela Tuforsen, who says proposals from the dialogue will feature heavily in the government's first budget statement, which will be delivered in the next 8 days.
Hope and prayer that the lessons that will emerge from these conversations will guide our steps and that we may not repeat the mistakes of recent past. The panel discussions, workshops, and breakout sessions have been carefully designed to confront the pressing economic challenges of our time. The resultant prescriptions and the critical policy initiatives will drive structural reforms and our transformation agenda to reset our economy and secure the prosperity of our citizens. Mr. Chairman, as we embark on this development of our medium-term plans, commencing with the forthcoming budget on March 11th, the insight, expertise, and experiences that will be garnered from these deliberations will prove very invaluable assets that will shape our collective path for our future.
But the opposition, New Patriotic Party, are tearing into John Mahama's State of the Nation address presented to Parliament last week, describing it as pure propaganda without fact. During his address, John Mahama took on the MPP, insisting they recklessly managed the economy. But addressing journalists at what the MPP described as the true State of the Nation address, former Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam accused the president of telling lies in Parliament. Listen.
One would have appreciated a true State of the Nation that acknowledged challenges in 2022, the remarkable turnaround as a result of the decisive policies of the MPP government, supported by the IMF, and the challenges still remaining that will require steadfastness from the new government. And when this is backed by a clarion call by the president to Ghanaians to support him and his new government to consolidate the gains, you would have had consensus across the political divide to drive the Building Back Better agenda for Ghana. But what did we get from the president? Rather, he chose to do propaganda, and we can assure you that this propaganda will come to hit and hurt him hard. Fellow Ghanaians, the true State of the Nation is that exchange rate stability, which we saw before the end of 2024, and which has continued into the first quarter of this year, is not by any magic from the Mahama government. It is because the Akufo-Addo government left significant levels of international reserves for them. In addressing the issue of buffers created to support expenditure and maturing debt obligations, the president focused on the sinking fund as if it is the only source of buffers. The sinking fund is just one of our buffers. At each point in time, the government designates some accounts for buffer and for purposes of special payments. In the last 8 years, such accounts included the sinking fund, the Eurobond proceeds account, the IMF proceeds account, and the Treasury Main 2 account. For example, the IMF third review disbursement of $360 million was done on 2nd December 2024, but this was kept as buffer, part of which was used to pay coupons amounting to $346 million to Eurobond holders on 3rd January 2025. This was not done from the sinking fund.
Well, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam also claimed the current NDC government intends to raise the rate of existing taxes, despite their promise to scrap some old taxes.
Does it make sense to scrap e-levy and betting tax and replace them with new taxes on the telecommunication industry? They are bringing back VAT on telecommunication. They are increasing the growth and sustainability levy on the mining industry. And they are bringing back VAT on the financial services and real estate industries. Wow. All these taxes will be passed on to customers, to the Ghanaian people. The people of Ghana should wait for the deception of the NDC government when they present the 2025 budget. Sakawa. Taxes galore. Sakawa. This is how they intend to tax Ghanaians to collect their target of 200 billion Ghana cedis in tax revenues this year. This NDC government accused us, the MPP administration, of overtaxing the people of Ghana, because by the end of 2024, the MPP administration collected 152.9 billion Ghana cedis, and that was 17% tax to GDP ratio, taking it from President Mohammed's 13% in 2016. How do you then turn around to expect to collect 200 billion Ghana cedis in an economy you call a broken economy? Ladies and gentlemen, we, the mighty minority, will join the people of Ghana to resist any attempt to smuggle in new taxes or increase existing taxes. We owe it a duty to hold the government accountable for their promises to the people of Ghana.
Well, Dr. Stephen Amoah is former Deputy Finance Minister, and he's joined us on the line for some reactions. Grateful to you, Doc, for joining. Now, the President, during the State of the Nation address, extended an invitation to you, the minority, and former managers of the economy. Why didn't you attend, to the National Economic Dialogue, for example?
Thank you very much. I think I've been making my position, I was stating my position very clear and loud that this is a parliamentary issue and parliamentary decision. And the caucus, in my opinion, we have our leaders or leadership. Mm-hmm. So it lies within the jurisdiction of our leaders to give explanation to that. I don't think I am in the position to do that.
Mm. Now, from your press conference this afternoon, you seem to disagree with President Mahama when he attributes the current economic woes to your what he describes as your mismanagement. I mean, why do you think he is not right to point out to your mismanagement of the economy when people can testify to it?
Justify what? I mean, talking about the economy, my brother, mm-hmm. It's not just any other discretionary statement anybody can make. Thanks be to God. We have indicators. Clearly, you can't run away from them. Mm. So you need to state, what did they hand over to us? There should be a reference point for him to say that, okay, thanks be to God, I was the president. I handed over power to the NDC, MPP government, GDP, which is the number one most relevant factor to consider whether the economy is doing well or not. What was it? He handed over 3.4 to us. We are doing over 6%. And then check the others. Agriculture is one of the mainstays of our economy. He handed over to us, I think, about 2.7, thereabout. We did about 4.5. He handed over industry, I think 4.3. We did 8.9. He handed over services of, I think, 2.8. We did 5%. go and check our primary balances and see whether we left a very strong fiscal, a consolidated economy or not. I'm not saying there are no challenges. When I come that the president could only state the inflation rate that we left 23 point something percent, as against they left 15.4. I mean, the crisis that prevailed all over the world took Ghana's inflation rate to 54.1. And within 12 months, it has come down to 23%. Who said that this economy will let a very bad? Aren't we still, or weren't we paying emoluments of billions of cedis every month? Weren't we even running the pro-poor policies, i.e. free schools, school feeding, national health insurance? Weren't we running all of them effectively and efficiently?
Okay.
I'm not saying, every economy in the world post-COVID has some sort of challenges. But look at the swiftness and the speed with which NPP government restored this economy. So please, we are begging our president that if anything at all, our president should keep to the promise that he made to Ghanaians.
All right,
I'm
grateful to you.
Job. Understand the fact that
I'm grateful to you, Doc,
about
for joining us here, Dr. Stephen Amwa. I'm grateful. Let's bring in Professor John Gachi, who is Dean of the University of Cape Coast Business School and a member of the National Economic Dialogue Committee. And Prof, I'm grateful. Any reaction to the position of the minority on this?
I think I am part of the National Economic Dialogue Planning Committee. If you now put me on the line to be reacting to...
No, I'm not. I don't want you to debate him. I only want your reaction to the failure of the minority or their decision to say we are going to stay away from such an important dialogue.
Well, every political party has its own ideology and a choice of strategies that they feel works for them. I think that, during Senche time, the party refused to participate. And this one also is like they have refused to participate.
Okay.
So it's like it's not part of their way of doing things. But Ghana is not for one particular party. We are working towards ensuring inclusive discussion. And we have gotten a lot of political parties. We have gotten a lot of Ghanaians who were willing and frantic about the issues that were being discussed, and that inclusive engagement has been achieved.
What do you say to people? What do you say to people who say you don't need a dialogue to really understand what to do to salvage the economy?
Well, I think that position is also wrong. If you are into a crisis of this nature that we know, you do not want to say that you know it all. Of course, we had a situation where some people managed the economy without doing this elaborate engagement. The result we know. We know that we have never had a DDEP with a debilitating effect in the banking sector, in industry, and on individual pockets and pensioners. We have never had that before. That was an economy managed without seeking the views of others to consolidate where you want to go. So we know that if you are facing difficulty and you want to do it alone, you plunge us into much more problem.
All right,
but if you open up yourself for engagement, I believe that your path will be smooth and the outcome will be beneficial to all of us.
So what other activities are expected to happen between now and tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow at 9 o'clock, we will start the breakout session. We'll continue with the breakout sessions and conclude on the issues that are being discussed from today. And then draw a conclusion on the matters. Then we shall have what we call the high-level dialogue, where ministers of the productive sector, including agri, trade and industry, finance, and the rest, will participate in the process and to outline the takeaways from the sections that concern their ministries and show commitment to how they are going to implement those ideas to foster prosperity for the people of Ghana.
I'm grateful to you, Professor John Gachi, for joining us here. Now, away from the national dialogue, let me take you to the western region, where communities along the Ankobra River are facing a fresh water crisis as seawater takes over what was once their main source of fresh water. Once a vital water source, despite pollution from illegal mining, the river is now stagnant and salty. Joy News can confirm that miners in Pristia, Himang, and Awodia are using excavators to dig directly in the river basin after blocking it. The Lands Minister has constituted a fact-finding committee to see firsthand the havoc caused by illegal mining. My colleague Erastus Asaridonko is embedded with the team and has been traveling along the river and will report on some of their findings from the western region.
To better understand the workings and impact of illegal mining activities, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources set up this team of experts to embark on a fact-finding trip across the country. We made a stop at the estuary where the Ankobra joins the sea.
A green-looking Ankobra River. This is the estuary where the river Ankobra joins the sea. It has not been this green for a very long time, but it could be deceptive. We are here to tell you the story of a green Ankobra and probably why it is looking green, though what is making it milky brown is still happening across the length and breadth of this great resource. Come with me as we find out what could probably be a mirage.
We took a ride on the Ankobra from the estuary to gauge the mood of the river. At high tide, the sea has made tremendous gains into the Ankobra, spreading its green salty water to cover the polluted shade of the river.
How does it taste like?
It tastes like salty because the sea have entered the Ankobra, so it's salty, you cannot drink. But Ankobra itself is not salty.
But about 40 minutes into our boat ride, the color starts to change. At Eshiemu, we come across mining activities inches away from the Ankobra, violating government's buffer zone policies. This man, who identifies himself as Lopez, showed us documents covering his concession but admits the illegalities on the grounds. The real color of the Ankobra is now visible from here. At Awodia, close to Pristia, we made a shocking discovery. The Ankobra has been blocked and contained for mining purposes.
And those of you who have been contemplating and praising the new color of the Ankobra, this is the real color of the river Ankobra. As you can see, this is a mining hub within the river itself. So the river has been blocked, redirected, and you can see that it's not really flowing well. And it's camped here at Awodia.
Even more shocking is the complete blockade of the river at Pristia, Himang, close to the bridge.
Well, my colleague Erastus Asaridonko, who is embedded with the team, joins me via Zoom with more details. Erastus, grateful for hearing from you and great work there. You've been traveling along the river. Give us a blow-by-blow account of what you found.
So, just as you've seen in the video there, I was shocked because for the first time, I'm seeing the Ankobra being blocked in two, where miners have set up an embankment within the river itself, and they are mining on the other side, directly within the basin. I have never seen anything like that in my life. And it's total madness to block the river itself and mine with excavators within the basin itself. And so you find that the entire community somehow, I believe, supports what they are doing, because when the team went there, there are many of them who were reporting to them that they should leave the place, the team is coming. And they moved the excavators to a different site. When you go to Awudia, again, another embankment, blocking the river from flowing. And so when you get to the bridge, Christia Heman Bridge itself, you could see that the Ankobra has now become a stagnated pool. It's not flowing. And that is why it explains why the sea phenomenon of high tide, now the force of the Ankobra is not showing, so the sea is able to cover and penetrate deep into the Ankobra, which is giving that false impression that the Ankobra is now clear.
But this cannot happen at the blind side of authorities. Have they? What have they been telling in terms of what they know and what actions they've tried to take?
I can tell you on authority that there's been a political interference at the local level. There are some party people who believe that they also have their chance now, they have the mine. Some of them visibly obstruct the work of the committee at Dunkwao, for instance. In the coming days, we'll be showing those from Dunkwao and others. And you could see the resistance from party people who showed their faces in front of our cameras, blocked the road leading to the committee's work, and say, we will not allow you to proceed further. And that is telling you the kind of resistance we have now, people who believe that it's now their turn, and they feel a sense of entitlement to perpetrate the same illegalities we've been talking about under the previous administration.
Aside these areas we've been talking about, the Awudia and Eshim and what have you, what other areas has the committee visited, and what's the situation there as well?
So we visited, the focus was on the central and western region, and we started from the minister's own constituency. And the committee at a point in time, though they were not supposed to step in, they had to step in and ban some champagne machines and others to immobilize them and prevent them from using them again. Because when you go to a place like Anyem, close to Nkrofo, you realize that they've eaten deep even into the bridge itself. And so within a few days, if they are allowed to continue, the bridge itself will collapse and the road will be unmotorable. Wow. And so the committee has to step in to ban their camps, seize their water pumping machines, and make sure that they are not able to continue their work. Okay. So in the coming days, we'll be serializing our findings on Joy News for our viewers to have a fair idea of where illegal mining has got into at the moment.
Great work. Rasmus, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Now, the crisis deepens for coastal communities in Ketu South of the Volta region as 172 people have been displaced and 32 houses washed away by the sea. In Avagaji, affected residents, including women and children, have taken temporary shelter in schools. We're live in the communities for the latest update. Earlier, Volta Regional Minister James Gunu described the destruction as a direct threat to national security. Fred Kwame Asare has more.
Makafi Atai was born and raised up in the Agave community of the Ketu South municipality in the Volta region. Her home and survival are threatened by the devastations of coastal erosion, which continue to wash away her community. A recent incident left the community devastated as homes and cemeteries, among others, were affected. This is my father's house. I stayed here since infancy. The sea used to be some kilometers away, but in 2019, we started experiencing coastal erosions. We were at the roadside, far away from the sea, but the erosion had gotten to us. You see the sea hit the wall. It makes a loud noise, and then the wall collapses. It is having a psychological effect on us. The Volta Regional Minister, James Gunu, was left in shock after assessing the devastation caused.
Has actually made it a national security issue. Houses have been washed away, cemeteries are gone, and a lot of things, and the psychological trauma that the people are going through, including children and women.
In Agavaji, one of the worst hit communities, families face an unbearable reality. The relentless sea is swallowing their land and their past. Desperate and heartbroken, they are exhuming the graves of their loved ones before the waves erase what little remains. Now, it is a fight for history, dignity, and memories, Emmanuel Jivenu reports.
It's an emotional scene here at Agaveji. The final resting place for these loved ones is no more. One by one, graves are opened and bodies exhumed as the sea relentlessly claims what should be sacred ground. Ebenezer Asa is the assemblyman for Agaveji.
The sea have taken about 63 tons so far, and then the remaining bodies that my people get to, they have transferred them to other cemeteries.
The Agaveji community has been battling the rising tides for years. Now, the sea is evading cemeteries and washing away graves.
So where they have transferred those bodies to, if this sea defense project doesn't continue, and then we take the sea or we continue the sea defense war, those cemeteries too will be taken away by the tidal wave.
The coastal community.
Let's go to Agavaji and speak to Volta regional correspondent Ivy Setoji. Ivy, can you describe the current situation on the ground? Ivy Setoji, kindly on me so we can hear what you're telling us, Ivy.
Yeah, so can you hear me now?
Clearly, yes.
Okay, so we visited the area, that's the Agaveji, Salakope, and Amochino this afternoon, and the situation is very, very there. The people are really, really going through a lot. We saw firsthand the sea blocking the road, like coming to the road. According to the residents, it's just about 1 meter away from the road, and it's getting dangerous. According to the residents, some of them don't even have anywhere to sleep. So in the evenings, what they do, according to them, is to sleep at the shops outside. Some also go to some of the churches that are still available at the lagoon side. So that is what is happening. Some are putting up with families and friends. So right now, according to them, if care is not taken, in few days, the entire stretch, especially the road, that's the Ketu to Denu Aplawu road, will be totally gone or be cleared. And so they are asking the authorities to do something about the situation. We someone who said there is a need for dredging for the meantime as a way to do the sea defense work. So the situation is really, really bad on the ground. We are going back. We want to see how they sleep. So by 10 p.m., I'm going back to the community where exactly they will be sleeping. That's the Agavaji and Salakope. I'm just about 10 minutes away from them. So around 10 p.m., I have to go back to see where exactly they are sleeping.
All right. I'm grateful to you, Ivy, for joining us with those details. This is Joy News Prime. We'll take a break. I'll be back with more, including tragic news we are getting from an AFCON test train that has allegedly struck and killed a middle-aged woman. Stay with us. Welcome back from the break. Now, tragic news this evening is that an AFCON test train has allegedly struck and killed a middle-aged woman at Saki Bediako Junction in the Katamanso municipality of the Greater Accra region. The circumstances leading to the accident remain unclear. Joining us now is Isaac Newton Tete, the Assembly Member for Mlichapo electoral area. Isaac, grateful for joining us. What time did this accident occur?
Well, I had a call around 4 o'clock this afternoon, and then I moved to the site, and it was not something good at all. So around 4 o'clock this afternoon. So.
But what makes people believe that it is the AFCON train that did it?
Yes, because they're in charge of the railway expansion, and then they always do the test transmissions almost every day. I used to see. So definitely, it's their train.
Did you go there? Did you see it?
PRO was there this afternoon. Yeah.
And he said it is their train that did it. Have they taken responsibility for this accident? Fortunately, Isaac's line has frozen there, but we'll still dwell more on this particular story. We'll try and understand all the factors concerning this accident. We understand that a middle-aged woman was struck dead by this AFCON train that you see on your screen now. Well, by an AFCON train, allegedly, that is on test run. We're trying to understand whether or not the company has accepted responsibility for what exactly happened. But this is Joy News Prime. And away from that, students of Savannah College of Education in Daboya have locked up lecture halls and boycotted all academic activities on campus, vowing to prevent any lecturer from entering the school. The aggrieved students, primarily first-year students, claim they were misled by the college's management regarding its status as a public institution. According to them, the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission had listed the college as a public institution on its website, which influenced their decision to apply. However, after getting admission, they were informed that the institution's actual status was different. Some students speaking to Isaac Nonya expressed their frustration, insisting they have been scammed. Savannah Regional Correspondent Isaac Nonya joins me via Zoom with more details. Isaac, officially, what have you been told about the current status of the college, whether or not it is officially a public or private institution?
Well, Kosi, let's say the accreditation and then the MOU signed between the school and then government, it means that the school has been observed into the public sector.
Okay.
But there are some underlying issues that need to be addressed by both the school and the government. One, the school needs to get administration structures in place, especially with the human resource. We are told that the current principal, Dr. Musa Ikekwe, is not having the qualification to head a college of education because he's coming from the background of a lecturer, not a senior lecturer, but a lecturer with a doctorate degree.
Okay.
But somebody coming from UDS should be able to be a senior lecturer and then a holder of a doctorate degree program to be able to head the school. Secondly, the school needs to be advertised for all the positions from principal to the laborer to be applied, and then the government giving the go-ahead for them to recruit new people. Now, other thing is that, about 1,600 people have been recruited be admitted into the College of Education this year. Unlike the previous year, where you used to have less than 2,000 or 1,400. So the students are asking, if you have been absorbed by government, how come you still admit more than 1,000 student freshers into the school? And then also for a student to pay close to 5,000 as school fees and 2,000 plus for feeding. But the school, since from the day of this agitation, has not been able to engage the students until today, where the vice principal moved to campus and tried to engage the students, explain to them what is happening. But they say, no, we need to engage the principal himself and to ask questions for answers.
But how does all of that affect the ability to study on the part of the students? And how does it also affect their certificate at the end of their training?
There are two issues here they raised. One, they feel that one, the school has not been properly absorbed by the government. The teachers who are around, some of them claim that there are primary school teachers who are around after classes, they come to handle them. And they wonder why somebody with a degree is come to also teach them to get a similar degree. Secondly, they feel that, getting a certificate from a public institution is weightier than a private sector. Yeah. So if they knew it was purely private, they would have bothered themselves coming. Okay. So as we speak, a good number of the students continue to leave campus, and between now and tomorrow, if all the level 100 have not moved, the majority of them will leave.
Wow. Isaac, I'm grateful to you for those information. Keep your eye on that particular story. And to kickstart our Ghana Month series, we'll take you on an expedition to a breathtaking landscape in the Savannah region, the Mole National Park. The wildlife haven is packed with huge elephants, antelopes, baboons, and rare bird species. But beyond its incredible biodiversity, the park holds deep historical and cultural significance. This evening, we'll take you on a journey through Ghana's largest and oldest national park, showcasing its beauty, its conservation efforts, and why it remains a must-visit destination for nature lovers. A piece by Martina Bogri.
The Mole National Park is home to Ghana's largest game reserve, arguably the reserve that has the largest natural animal inhabitants.
Welcome to the Mole National Park. In the Ghana Month series, we take a tour around the park to show you the beauty of the Mole National Park.
Established in 1958, it was named after the River Mole. A visitor to the park would definitely live there with fond memories and inspired. The park has over 60 mammals, among other animal species. Rakim Yusuf tells us about the park.
In summary of the park, we have 94 species of mammals, 33 reptiles, 9 amphibians, 350 bird species, and over 700 tree species.
The animals are welcoming, which offers tourists the opportunity to get up close with these animals.
Behind me is an elephant, one of the several animals you would find when you visit the Mole National Park. Friendly as they are, you can get closer to these animals.
Mole National Park, we have only the Savannah elephant. Scientific name is Lazadanta africana. They are bigger than the Asian elephant and that of the forest elephant.
Ghana set to mark its 68th independence anniversary. The Ghana Tourism Authority, GTA, has a lot of programs, but we have much more on that particular story on Showbiz right after this. All right, time for us to do Showbiz. And the queen of the Showbiz is here, Becky Bex.
Hello to you, Kedia to you.
More Dienepa.
And in my language, we'll say Uwe Balea.
Oh, Uwe Balea.
Then you say, if it's you're okay, you say yeah, or the other one, but we're always saying that we're okay. So Uwe Balea, yeah. That's a Numboso language. It's actually Guan. And so we're celebrating Ghana Month.
Which is also a Guan
So that's yours, Kedia.
Then you say Moke.
Moke,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uwe Balea to everybody watching us. We're in Ghana Month, and as part of celebrating Ghana Month, with Ghana set to celebrate its 68th independence anniversary, the Ghana Tourism Authority has officially launched Heritage Month, a celebration of the country's rich cultural heritage. The launch, held at Labadi Beach Hotel, features GTA's Chief Executive Officer, Mami Ifwa Hojeto, who admonished tourism enterprises to promote Ghanaian tradition, arts, and cuisine throughout their services. The tourism Tourism Authority has rolled out an exciting lineup of activities for Heritage Month aimed at deepening appreciation for Ghana's cultural identity. Speaking at the event, GTA CEO Mami Efua Hojeto emphasized the need for Ghanaians to actively promote and preserve their heritage.
Urge tourism enterprises such as hotels, restaurants, pubs, guest houses, nightclubs to ensure that our local food and drinks are on display in their varieties as part of their menu or snacks as we celebrate the Heritage Month. The tour operators, tour guides are encouraged to also promote and educate people on our culture and heritage. The drinking bars, pubs, nightclubs are encouraged to play local Ghanaian music to promote our cherished local music. Furthermore, let me urge Musicians Association of Ghana, Musica, to also promote more and to also put more emphasis on local Ghanaian music, right from the Osibises, Wolome, and all other high life music that reminds us of our heritage as Ghanaians. More especially, let me reiterate the need for us to wear Ghana.
Mami Efua Hojeto, right there. Let's move away from that and talk about the sad one. Grammy-nominated R&B artist Angie Stone has died after a car crash, age 63. Her daughter says Stone was fatally injured when a van she was traveling in overturned in Alabama early on Saturday following her performance. According to media reports, the artist, who was behind songs like No More Rain and I Wish I Didn't Miss You, was nominated for 3 Grammys over her career. She started out in the 1970s as a member of the female hip-hop trio, The Sequence. The group's most popular song, Funk You Up, peaked at 15 on Billboard's Hot Soul singles. Her daughter, who is also a musician, goes by the nickname Ladi Diamond, said on Facebook that she was numbed, unquote, hours earlier. She had asked for prayers for her family, and she said was on the road. Spokesperson for the artist told the BBC that her family had traveled to Montgomery, Alabama, and planned to release more information soon. Away from that, the Academy Awards have taken place in Los Angeles, with Honora scoping the most honors, while Conclave, The Brutalist, Wicked, and Emilia Perez also took prizes. Here are highlights from the event. I also got a little makeup done this evening, and it was by Teshinungwa Beyonce, Roberta. We're grateful that you could join us this evening. We're grateful to you, Jivenu, for everything. Grace, you got something to say? It's Ghana Month. Remember that we will be coming your way with everything Ghana Month celebration. We'll be giving you something. What tomorrow?
So tomorrow, for example, we'll be in African print, not in suit and days.
So I need to be. You're reminding me
to showcase the Ghana Month, and of course, travel to your hometown, eat your Ghana food, your local food. I'll go and eat, foam and chinam, foam and something.
And also remember that we have a full party. By Adum on the 6th
of March.
This Thursday, we'll be eating a lot of people here.
Thank you very much for being a part of us.
We're wrapping up?
Exactly.
Okay, please.
There's more on myjoyonline.com. Myjoyonline.com.
Myjoyonline.com. Biggest online.